Hello everybody, and this is Chaos with Chaos Esports Productions, bringing you another viewer cast. Today we're going to be looking at a submission by Nobunaga. So yeah, going to be taking a look at this. Now this is a PvT, and we're going to be just taking a look and seeing what he can work on. There are a couple things right off the bat that are kind of a little bit strange. One thing that we do note is whenever he builds a building, he always builds it with a single probe, and then that probe just kind of chills out next to the building that it's making. So this one chills out until he builds his gateway, and then once he builds his gateway, it chills out again, and then on occasion he'll pull a second probe to do something else. Now this is not very efficient with your, as far as mining goes, because as you can see there's only 9 workers mining, and you've effectively been only mining with 9 workers for the past minute and a half. And basically what this does is it limits the amount of resources that you can get. But simply by taking this probe, building your building, and then shift clicking him back to the mineral line is going to increase the amount of minerals you can get in a very short period of time. So definitely want to take advantage of using all of your probes to mine as efficiently as possible. So yeah, so this probe is going to kind of be his I'm going to build everything probe. So yeah. Overall, the build order is a little less refined than I would like to see. You know, we see that we're waiting till kind of like a few seconds after you could have built your Cybernetics core, refining your build order down to, you know, literally once a building finishes, starting the next building, getting everything up and nice and succinct. So you go for this proxy Stargate play, which is pretty effective against Terran if they don't scout it, and I believe this one actually turns out to be fairly well. One thing that I would consider is this Stargate placement is a little... It's gonna get scouted, guaranteed. If he goes for an early expansion of any kind, he's gonna know that this is here and be able to deny this pretty much very easily. I would recommend either trying to throw your Stargate down over here toward his third, or even down, you know, kind of in this area, just, you know, out of the way. So basically, even if he does take a natural, he's not going to be able to immediately know where it is. He's going to actually have to go around and look for it. So, just some small things. So, current boosting out Zealots. Now, you significantly delay your Warp Gate research, which is not very good, because Warp Gate is, you know, the bread and butter of Protoss, and getting that out as quickly as possible is going to be very, very key. So we're going for an Oracle here, all nice and dandy. Chrono boosting out. I think you primarily chrono boost out the gateway units, which I'm not necessarily sure I agree with. Basically, at this point in the game, you should already be fully saturated in your main. Let's go ahead and slow this down and walk in. You come in here. This guy's gonna get a lot of kills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Very, very effective Oracle. You effectively took out a fully saturated base with that single Oracle. Very nice. At this point, you haven't done a very good job continuing building your probes. Need to get on top of that. Just now starting to build more gateways and get things. Now, as mentioned before, we can see that the Stargate is definitely going to be getting taken out, and then these wonderful probes who are sitting here idly are building more buildings. Now, take these guys, put them on the minerals, and you're fully saturated. So yeah, at this point you've done... This game is more or less over just because you did significant amounts of damage with your Oracle, and you're even going to do a little bit more here in the long run. But basically what you want to be doing is you want to be, balancing your how much am I paying attention to my attacking units versus how much am I paying attention to getting my tech up, getting further into the game. Because at this point, I don't feel like you've maximized what you possibly could have done. Had warp gate research been started a little bit earlier, you'd be able to warp in units at this point. You can be taking your natural at this point. It's just not a very refined build. So I would highly recommend getting all the timings down and making sure that everything is, kind of very succinct, right after another, and I think that is going to improve your game the most at this point. So, as far as unit composition, you have your single Oracle back here. You see his Marines, and this Oracle's just kind of chilling out. You've got one warp gate, so a little bit slow to get the rest of the warp gates going. Chrono boosting out some void rays. Going for void ray in this position is actually, I'd say, a fairly decent choice. The likelihood of him having significant number of Marines is fairly minimal, and then on top of that, if he does go for like tanks and things that are heavy armor, the prismatic alignment's going to make for a very, very good very good choice. So, Oracle's going to get out of here. I'm kind of curious as to why you didn't do anything with him. Now, just a tip. So, 6 Marines versus 1 Oracle. Who wins? I'll let you ponder for a second. Okay, so 6 Marines versus 1 Oracle. The Oracle wins. Just barely, but he wins. So, if we go back and look at the number of units that he had 2, 3... Is that really all he had? No, he had 5. He had 5 Marines sitting here, so had you just sat there and taken out his army, or tried to attack his army, you would have won. And then you could sit back and do more damage. So, just good to know. Let's go ahead and go back to you. So finally getting up your expansion and getting things moving tech-wise. You're getting your forge up. You do manage to kill a handful more stuff, which is awesome. But yeah, if we look at your APM, you're currently not really doing a whole lot. You need to be kind of trying to figure out, what you're going with, what you're planning, when you're planning on moving out. Just this cannon, I feel, is a little misguided. I mean, yeah, you see the factory, but you haven't scouted a starport, so you don't really need to be worried about drops at this point. Supply blocked a little bit. All things well and good in the world. And yeah, I mean, you're going to push out here, and this is more or less going to be GG, because when you do that much damage with an initial harassment, there's just no recovery. The likelihood of him having many units out are slim to none. So I think pushing out here is very, very safe. Now, I probably would have gotten on these sentries a little bit earlier, because you're going to want to know what is up on this ramp before you push in. I know you blindly kind of just go in and see, here's what he's doing, and then just absolutely wipe him out. Warping some more sentries. I don't really think you need this many sentries, but okay. So we're going to come in here and slow it down a little bit and see what happens. So you focus down the bunker, and then at this point you need to be taking these void rays and focusing down the tank, because that's the main heavy hitter for him right now. So that's going to be kind of crucial to take that out. You haven't really used any force fields or anything to like hold his army in, so that's something that you can consider. But yeah, so you're going to come in here, you're going to just pretty much wipe him out. Zealots are going to go to town, take out a lot of these units, and that is more or less going to be GG right there. So I think overall, the things that I would probably have you work on is when keeping your all of your workers actually doing something, because that's gonna be crucial to getting, you know, more minerals and being that much more ahead in the game. Also, taking this expansion a little bit earlier probably would have been okay. You would have been a pretty safe. Your Oracle did 16 kills worth of damage, so the likelihood of him being able to immediately come and counterattack you is fairly slim to none. He did have a fair amount of bank, but you guys are kind of in the lower leagues, so it's not the end of the world. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you got any other questions more specific about the game, feel free to shoot them in the comments, or you can feel free to send another replay out to me. But overall, I think it was executed fairly well. You do need to work on your APM a little bit, and that'll come with, you know, getting your build orders down very succinct, knowing exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it, and then also probably in my next Bronze to Masters League series game, I'll talk about microing your probes in the early game, just to get you that much extra resources a little bit quicker. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you are new to the channel and would like to submit your own replays, feel free to submit them to replays.sc2.chaos@gmail.com. All that info is in the description. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next game.